We're here with head coach Steve Colfer of Cabrini University, along with student athlete Dylan McManus. After today's second round, the NCAA tournament against York here in Medford, Massachusetts. Coach, just your initial thoughts on the contest this afternoon.
First and foremost, all the credit goes to York. They really, after that first quarter, which I thought was a back and forth, well contested, there was a couple moments there where, we competed well and put pressure on them and were shooting the ball well. And, they just flipped the script on us in the second quarter. And just at this level, when you're playing teams that are good, you can't have a 6-0 quarter against you. You can play bad for 4 or 5 minutes at a time, but when you play bad for 15 minutes, and no, the other team has something to do with that too. It's not just you playing bad and them not, having something to do with that. So again, I always give credit to the other team, and before we start, pointing fingers at ourselves. They came out, they played. I think both teams were a little tense early. You could see the ball wasn't crisp. There was it just wasn't a clean game, and I think they settled in a little bit quicker and better than we did, and separated, and we just never could get going, in that second quarter, and that kind of bled into the third quarter, and it was you're playing from behind against a really good team. And it was just too big of a hill for us to climb. But again, hats off to York and to their players and their coaching staff.
Coach, you get those 2 late goals in the first quarter to make it 5-4 to give you a little bit of momentum. What do you think, kind of as you went into the second quarter? What do you think changed? What do you think was the turning point in the game?
I mean, you look at the stats. They're 5 for 6 on their man up. And then that's killer. There was a couple 2 minutes in there. There was 2 men downs. Again. Not having seen the film, I'll go by it. Obviously the officials are out there doing the best job they can. They're calling it as they see it. I always say at the end of my coaching career, 50% of the calls will go for me and 50% will go against me. It's some days you feel like it's just it's not going your way, and there was just a period. Again, we'll watch the film, but I just think they just made more plays. There was a couple loose, bouncy balls in the middle there that they were able to stick to and finish, or in our offensive zone, they were able to get it out of trouble. So, again, credit to them for making those kind of plays in the middle of the game there that were the separator. Our kids will always compete. The Cabrini kid will always play hard and compete and never give up. And that's the type of blue-collar kid that we have. But at the end of the day, you still got to make plays. And those plays got to end up in stops and goals. And we just didn't make enough of both of those outcomes today in this game.
Dylan, for you post 5 points, 3 goals, 2 assists, team leader in shots with 8. What were you looking for offensively? What do you think was working for you guys when you were able to have success on offense?
Yeah, we definitely needed to just shoot the ball as much as possible. I think we only put up 35 shots on the game right now, and it's just not going to be enough. You got to pepper the goalie. You got to test him early, which was what we did nice and early in the first quarter, making it a close game. But then we just lost track, unforced turnovers, and you lose track of time. And losing quarter after quarter, it's just hard to come back from that.
Dylan, staying with you, you're a senior, obviously a leader on this program and this team. Atlantic East Championship this year, another one for you guys. With totality, looking back at the year, what will you remember the most about this year? What will be kind of the lasting memory for you?
Yeah, it's definitely the guys. These guys are a great group of guys. I only came in here last year, my first year here, transferring from Bates College, and this team's like no other. They were just accepting with open arms. It's something. This program is something I'll remember forever. It's a tough one today to have to say goodbye, but it is what it is. All good things come to an end, and these guys are something that I'll remember forever.
Coach, back over to you. Obviously, your senior group, looking at your leadership group, just what will you remember most about them and about this leadership group for seniors this year?
This is a group that we've had some highs and lows this season, and they showed up and they got better and they worked, and there were some points when we played Tufts early in the year, the Tufts is playing at an unbelievable level, and I thought we came back to practice that next day and showed up and competed and got better and didn't hang our heads, and I thought this team started to grow and develop and matured. At certain points in the year I think when we played Tufts in March, we started 5 freshmen that night, maybe 6. So the future is bright. Obviously, you lose really important guys, really important, dynamic playmakers like the guy sitting next to me. But there are guys that are coming in, and there are guys that will have to step up. And when you want to be one of the best teams in the country each year, you need to have that. You can't take a year or two off from recruiting and expect it to continue. Everyone's too good, and everyone's out getting good players, and the margins in the NCAA tournament are really small. On paper, we thought, this was going to be an even-fought game, and you look at 3 quarters, 5-4, 6-4, 1-1, but that second quarter was a difference, and so you can't have, at this level, and you want to be one of the best teams, you got to get really good players, and you got to keep them for 4 years. And they have to grow and get better. And when you lose a group like this, it's tough. But we will show up next year. We'll be ready to roll, and we will continue to make the guys who are now alums proud of the jersey that they once wore.
Coach, any final thoughts on today's game and the season as a whole?
No, again, I said to these guys, there's no words for the emotion of losing. There's no words for the emotion of losing and being your last game of the season and then being the last game of your career. It's a process. It's almost a grieving process that you go through. I've had the benefit of doing it 27 times. I got 1 year where I got to win my last game. And that's a feeling like no other. That every coach and player that I encounter, I hope that they have that at some point in their lifetime. It's just part of the nature of sports, and it's the addiction that we have as players and coaches that make us yearn to come back and get ready to go. We want to go to practice tomorrow, and I said this time of year you play to practice, and you win and you get to come back to practice, and that should be the thing that drives us. And we'll come back and get ready to practice in September for fall ball and get the next group ready to roll and get this program continuing to compete at a high level. And I have no doubt that we will do that. And the players that we have downstairs and the new guys coming in will continue to meet that task.
14 wins in a Atlantic East championship for Cabrini. Coach Colfer, Dylan, I appreciate your time after today's game, and safe travels home.
I appreciate it. Thank you.